Now we are going to discuss a past paper question based on the normal distribution. This is how you get the question, right? As usual, there are three parts. Here it's 2 marks, 4 marks and 4 marks. Right? Now we'll read the question. In a test conducted for 4,200 candidates, the X bar was 54 and standard deviation was 9. Right? So N is 4,200. X bar 54, SD 9. First question. What is the range of the distribution? This is easy. We have done it. This is a first paper question, but we'll do it here. There are 3 or more methods to get the range. We'll discuss 3, right? So before that, we'll write the information. What is our N? N is 4,200. It's easy if you write down this. Then X bar is 54. And SD is 9. Okay. Right. First question. Method 1. We'll say method 1. I told you there are several methods. I'll discuss them now. Method 1. What's the question? What is the range of the distribution? So what is the range? Range equals highest mark minus lowest mark plus 1. Right. Now what is the highest mark? We know X bar is this, standard deviation is 9. Now in a distribution, this is our X bar, right? 54. You know that there are 3 standard deviations above the X bar, is it, right? 1, 2, 3. So what are those? 54. Then standard deviation is 9, 54, 63, 72, 81. So 81 is the highest. Then this side 54, 45, 36 and 27. 27 is the lowest value. So we find the range. We can write highest value. What's the highest value? 81 minus lowest value 27 plus 1. So 54 plus 1. Then the answer is 55. That's the range. This is the easiest method, right? 54, then count 3 standard deviations above. Now if the standard deviation is 10, then what? 54, 64, 74, 84. Highest. Down here 54, 44, 34, 24. 24 is the lowest. Then get the difference and add 1. That's the way to find the range. The difference is just this. Right? Range is you have to add 1 according to your syllabus. We studied just 81 minus 20. Right. So you have to add 1. That's method 1. Method 2. Method 2 is also like this. Now to get the range, we need the highest value. What's the highest mark? Highest mark. How to get the highest mark? 54. This 54 is there. Then 54 plus 9. This 9 standard deviation is 9. 3 times of 9. 9 into 3. Right? That's the highest mark. So what is that? 9 into this one, 54 plus 27. That is 81. Then the lowest mark. Lowest mark is 54. Now what? Plus or minus? Minus. Minus standard deviation into 3. Here 9. 9 into 3. If the standard deviation is 10, then 10 into 3. That is 54. Now minus 27. That is 27. Right? Here you can see the difference. Same value 27, 27 for the highest one plus. Here minus. Whatever the standard deviation, you have to take it in 3 times. Right, then same formula. Range equals highest minus lowest plus 1. That is 81 minus 27 plus 1. So 54 plus 1. The answer is 55. That's the second method. Here you can see the difference. It's the same, right? The concept is the same. Now we'll go to the third method. Third method is dealing with the normal distribution curve, right? What we discussed last. For method 3, you have to draw the curve 0, now 54, that is x bar, right? Then you know that there are 3 standard deviations. Here 1, 2, 3. This is the highest standard deviation, or is it? And here on this side, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. This is the lowest z. Now you have to find x1, highest, and x2. Right? Then that's the highest mark, that's the lowest mark. Then we can find the range. Now, if the standard deviation is known, how can we find the x value, any x, a particular mark? The formula is x equals z into SD plus x bar. Here z, x1 z is 3. 3 into 9 plus 54. Same, 27 plus 54. Here it is 81. That's the highest, right? 81. Now we'll find x2. x2 equals, if we know the z, what's the formula? It's the same. x2 equals z into SD plus x bar. Now here z. What is our z? Minus 3. Minus 3 into 9 plus 54. Here minus 27 plus 54. Then it is 27. That's the lowest one. 27. 27 is the lowest mark. Now what you have to do to find the range? Same. Range equals highest minus lowest plus 1 So highest is 81 minus 27 plus 1, 54 plus 1, the answer is 55, right? So those are the three methods that you can calculate the range using the normal distribution. The first one is fine even for the second paper, as for the second paper question answer, you can find that first method also. Just write the highest and the lowest and the formula and apply, right? That is question 1. We'll go to the question 2. Now we are going to discuss the second part, right? Here it's a mixture. What do you mean by mixture? There are two rules, right? If a mark is given, what's the number of students? Or if the number of students is given, what's the cutoff mark? So what you have to do is read the question, underline what is given. That's all. Then select the root and apply, right? As I told you, you have to remember the roots. Now read the second question, second part. If those who scored below 35 were considered as failures, how many failed the test? How many students failed the test? Right? So what is given there? The mark. Who scored below 35? So go here. Right below 35. That's what we need. So draw the curve and mark this. Here standard deviation, x bar is 54 and standard deviation is 9. Right? This is our x bar. Now below 34. 34. Where's 34 here? On this side. 34. Draw the line. Go to the condition below 30. This is what we need, the shaded area, right? Number of students are here. Now what's the first step? Now we have to find the Z value, right? Z value. We have to go through this route now, so we have to find the Z value, right? What is Z? Z equals x minus x bar divided by SD. So x is 35. X is 35 divided by 54, then minus 54 divided by 9. So the answer is minus 19 divided by 9. Our Z is minus 2.11, right? So this one is minus 2.11. Now you know the Z. Then what can you do? We have to find the probability of this area. So you know Z. That means you can find the probability of this area. We'll have to find that. So we'll write the lines. We'll write it here. Probability PR. Probability of Z. What's the probability of Z? Now Z is no, we know 2.11. So what's the probability of minus Z equals minus 2.11. What's the probability? 0.4826. Next, now we know this one. 0.4826. we have to find the probability of this. So we can write probability of the shaded area. What is that? 0.5 minus 0.4826. The answer is 0.0174. So this one is 0.0174. This. Now we know the probability. Then according to the root, we have to find the number of students. So number of failures. What's the number? Probability into n. That's why I asked you to remember the roots, right? What's the probability? 0.0174 multiplied by, what is our n? 4200. So the answer is 73.08. That's the answer. When you multiply these two, you get this one. So the number of failures. How many students failed the exam? 73. That's the first part. As I told you earlier when I started this problems, I said that you have to remember the roots. In the middle, sometimes you might forget what to do, right? So you have to have the root and then follow it. It's easy. Okay. Now we'll do the third part. Out of all candidates, 80 obtained A passes. What is the cutoff mark for an A? What is given? 80 candidates, right? Number of students is given. So you will have to find the cutoff. Number of students is given. We'll draw the curve. 54, that is x bar. Now A passes 80 out of all the candidates, out of 4,200, 80 obtain A passes. A passes are here on this side, right? So A pass holders are here. Now what's the probability? It's given as a ratio out of 4,200, right? So you do this. You know how? 80 divided by 4,200, right? You do like this. Take 2, no? 4, 2. That is 2 divided by 105. You divide it properly. Do I have to? You divide, right? So the answer is 0.0190. 0.0190. That is this, right? Now we'll write the lines. Probability of the shaded area. At least you just do the calculations if you can't write the lines. Probability of the shaded area is what? 0.0190. This calculation, right? Then we know this one. We have to find the Z value here. And then we have to find the X value. When the number of students is given, you have to find two things. right? Z and the x. So we know this area. We have to find the z. To find the z, we have to know this particular area from middle line to this. So we know this. We have to deduct this area from 0.5. So we'll write probability of z. We have to find z now. Probability of z. What's the probability of z? 0.5 minus 0.0190. Here the answer is 0.4810. Right? So this one is 0.4810. Now you have to go to the table and find the relevant z. So z of 0.4810, the z is 2.07. We know the z is 2.07. This is, and we have to find the x. So if we know the z value, how to get the x? What's the formula? We have to find the cutoff mark. X equals z into SD plus x bar. So our z is 2.07, is SD is 9, x bar is 54. Here the answer is 18.63 plus 54. Now the final answer is 72.63. That is the cutoff mark. 72.63. Those who scored above 72.63 got A passes. Cutoff. Right? So you go through all the past paper questions and do the problems. Right? Then you will get familiar with this one. This topic, normal distribution. As I told you earlier, you have to remember the roots. And when you go through the questions, underline what is given, then select the particular root and follow it. You won't get confused. Right? This is one easy problem. The only thing is that you have to remember the roots and do accordingly. Don't make any mistakes, careless mistakes. Right? If you go through the second paper, you can see in the third part there are 3 stat problems and you have to select 2. In that second part you have the correlation problem, normal distribution problem, and something else, either p-values or facility index or something else. Right? So be familiar with all the stat problems. Okay, you can practice. You have to practice, all of you, even those who are good in stat or maths. You have to practice because you tend to make mistakes. Always practice. When you practice, pay attention to speed and accuracy. First, do all the problems. Get the practice, then time yourself within the given time. What's the given time for this question? 20 minutes. Within 20 minutes, you'll have to do the problem and get full marks. Speed and accuracy. Right? For that, you'll have to practice a lot. Time yourself and practice. So for this one, do 5 past paper question problems based on normal distribution and submit your answers. Okay.